Hey everyone, and welcome back to another Social Divas. So today we are gonna be talking about the Toa Payoh murder rituals. And just to let you guys know, this is a warning beforehand that this today's topic is not for the faint of heart. So if you think that you cannot cope with what I am gonna say, in the next few minutes, because there are gonna be gruesome things that I'm gonna say in this ritual. Please uh, exit from this video, and if you think that you can continue, just to let you know that I have warned you about it, and let's begin. These ritual murders took place in Singapore back in 1981. You On the day of 25th of January, a body of a 9-year-old girl was found in a bag next to a lift of a block of flats in the town of Toa Payoh, and 2 weeks later, a 10-year-old boy was found dead nearby, where the girl was found. The children had been killed, purportedly as blood sacrifices to the Hindu goddess Kali. The murders were masterminded by this guy named Adrian Lim, a self-styled medium who had tricked scores of women into believing that he had the supernatural powers. His victims offered money and sexual services in exchange for cures, beauty, and good fortune. Two of the women became his loyal assistants. Their names are Chan Mui Chu, who later married him, and Ho Ta Hong, who became one of his holy wives. When the police started investigating, a rape charge was filed by one of Lim's targets, and he became furious and decided to kill children to derail the investigations. On each occasion, Ho Ta Hong lured a child to Lim's flat where he or she was drugged and killed by the trio. Lim, Lim also sexually assaulted the girl before death. The trio was arrested after the police found a trail of blood that led to their flat. Although the case name suggested ritualistic murders, the defendants said that they did not conduct prayers, burning of joss sticks, ringing of bells of any other rituals during the killing. So the trial will be talking about that after. So we are going back into the society in the 1980s. So during the early 19th century, there was a lot of immigrants that is flooding towards the peninsula of Malaysia, colonizing the trade settlement, including the island of Singapore. And at the time, there's a lot of migrants coming from other countries, and they have a lot of beliefs that are contributing to what Singapore is today. And so now back to the murder. So for several years, a medium in Block 12, Toa Payoh Lorong 7, had been performing noisy rituals in the middle of the night. The residents complained several times to the authorities, but the rituals would resume after a short time. So in today's world, if we complain about a neighbor upstairs, or the neighbors beside us are noisy. Okay, the first time is a warning. The second time they will get like a final notice, and at that time, if I am right, they will get evicted from the flat, from their house. On the afternoon of 24th century, 24th January 1981, a 9-year-old girl named of Agnes Ng, who is a student of Holy Innocents Chinese Girls' School, disappeared after she was last seen by her sister and friend at a Toa Payoh church where she was attending religious class. Hours later, her naked body was found stuffed in a bag outside a lift in Block 11, and less than a kilometer from a church. The been the girl had been smothered to death. The investigation revealed injuries to her genitals and semen in her rectum. How disturbing is that? Although the police launched an intensive investigation questioning more than 250 people around the crime scene, they failed to obtain any leads. On 7 February, so it's like 1 month, like actually less than 1 month after the murder of Agnes Ng, Ghazali bin Mazuti, a student from Henry Park Primary School, was found dead under a tree between Block 10 and 11, naked. He had been missing since the previous day after being seen boarding the taxi with an unknown woman. And forensic pathologists on the scene deemed the cause of death as drowning and found on the boy suffocation marks similar to those on Ng. There was no sign of sexual assault, but burns were on the boy's back and a puncture on his arm. Traces of the sedative were later detected in his blood. So, just to clarify, if they at those time in the 1980s where it is very, I guess it is like common, more common than to let um, your kids go out. Like kids were more trusting of like strangers, I guess. Then now that like our parents are teaching kids saying you mustn't talk to like strangers, be wary of them, and there is good and bad about it. I am not saying anything bad about telling your kids to be careful. So the police found a scattered trail of blood that led to the 7th floor of the block 12. Stepping into the common corridor from the stairwell, Inspector Pereira noticed an eclectic mix of religious symbols: a cross, a mirror, and a knife blade on the entrance of the first flat. The owner of the flat, Adrian Lim, approached the inspector and introduced himself, informing Pereira that he was living there with his wife and a girlfriend, and permitted by Lim to search the flat. Isn't it strange that police, when they found the blood to your... Never mind, scrap that. So Lim initially tried to pass the stains off as candle wax, But when challenged claimed they were chicken blood, that is like a whole 180, claiming that from henna wax to chicken blood. I am. Do I sound that bad when I'm reading? So after the police found slips of paper written with the dead children's personal details, Lim tried to allay suspicions by claiming that Ghazali had come to his flat seeking treatment of bleeding nose, and you can only um, say so much things before the police arrest you. So now we are going to go into the arrest, and so how do I say this? But when they are arrested, both Agnes and Marzuti was not the only victims of Adrian Lim and the two women. In fact, in fact, before their first killing of Agnes, Ho had brought in three girls separately in three occasions. The first of the three, a 10-year-old Indian girl, was rejected by Lim due to her race and that one of the gods he worshipped is Hindu. The second girl, a Chinese girl residing in Clementi, was also rejected because she was too skinny. The third and last girl before Agnes was turned away because Lim saw her using a phone to call a friend. And the third girl had also told Lim that the friend she was calling had seen her walking away with Ho. Ho said that after killing Agnes, she was told by Lim to find a boy and that she chose Marzuti because Marzuti looked like her late husband, Benson. That is so sad. So 2 days after, so now we are in a trial. 2 days after the arrest, the three was charged in a subordinate court for the murders of the two children. The trio was subjected to further interrogation by the police and to medical examinations by prison doctors. On 17 September, their case was brought to the court for committal procedure, and obviously they got charged, but they didn't really mention what the charges are. I think because I don't want to be public. But they did state that for the verdict, it took them only 15 minutes to come out with a guilty verdict. And Tan and Ho did try to appeal, right? And Lim did accept his fate. So Chan and Ho did try to appeal that they are mentally insane, but obviously it didn't work. And after the two has exhausted all their venues of pardon, the three has been sentenced to death. And on 25th of November 1988, the trio was given the last meal and led to the hangman's noose. Lim smiled throughout his last walk to the gallows. At 6 a.m. in the same morning, the trio was executed by long drop hanging and later pronounced dead. After the sentence was carried out, the three murders was given a short Catholic mass by Father Doro and cremated on the same day. So let so this will be ending it here because I don't want that episode to be going on too long. So don't forget to subscribe to my channel if and like this video if you want me to be talking more about this kind of what do you call it, like rituals and solve crime.